Lynn, pleasure to talk to you and congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much.
Were you familiar with the novels going in? Because they have a pretty hardcore fan base. Were you part of that?
I wasn't familiar with them, which is sort of why when I got into the books, I really had a very visceral reaction to them, because what it requires, these books that Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote, is intense imagination and an expansion of imagination, really far-reaching. So when I started reading them, I put the book down because I was like, I can't, this is taxing. They're so intense, I felt like. Other people can flip through them and read them easily. So many people have. But they were really intense for me. I had already been cast as well, so that could probably have added to it.
So you couldn't even get out of it, no.
But, in the books, Deja Thoris is more of a damsel in distress.
That's what
and almost totally naked.
Yeah.
So we altered it. We altered both the damsel in distress and sort of creating more of a physical mask for her.
Yeah, and she is such a great character, and particularly in sci-fi, like you said, women tend to be kind of swooning wallflowers, even in Star Wars, you have Princess Leia, pretty much no one else. But she is, in the film, she's such a strong, sexy, smart character. It must have been such a, a relief and such a pleasure to play such a strong female role.
Yeah, that combination of accepting the inner strength, but also melding that masculine drive with the feminine vulnerability was really tricky at first, because it's you're, I don't know how to describe it, you're rubbing your belly and patting your shoulder at the same time. But then once it clicked, it was like, wow, oh, this is going to transform me as a person, not just as an actor. And it really did, because you can't play strong. You have to be strong, and you can't play bravery. You can puff it up, but really it comes from actually being that. And the stunts helped.
Yeah, I was about to say, you literally had to be strong. This is a physical role.
Yeah.
You're doing loads of sword fighting and lots of, flight sequences. How did you deal with the physicality of it?
I started with I had, at the beginning of the casting process, I said, if I get this movie, I'm going to quit smoking. And I was smoking 2 packs a day. So I got the movie, and I quit smoking. And so I see the stunt master for the first time, and I'm a rail, and they freak out. And I was like, well, I was smoking a lot, and that's why I'm so frail or whatever. And they just immediately boxing, lifting weights, certain foods. And then it became this amazing sort of informative process where it was you get strong physically, and it affects you mentally and emotionally.
Yeah. So
that I did feel oh yeah, I can do this fight sequence because I'm there in a holistic way.
Yeah, and you're one of the only, one of the very few female human characters. There's a few aliens floating around. And because there's all these fight sequences and stuff, and there's so many more male characters, was it a bit like a boys' club on set, or what was the energy like on set?
Well, sets are always like a boys' club. And it was easier this time because I was really the tomboy who could kick most of their butts.
So it helps, doesn't it? Just to let them know that, yeah. Mark Strong, I can kick you down.
He's so amazing. I wouldn't kick his butt. I'd let him go free.
I wonder what
you just leaning into the shot slightly.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. But you do get to have a lovely romance with Taylor Kitsch. And you had actually been in X-Men Origins Wolverine with Taylor. Did you know him well? Did you get to know him well on that set?
Yeah, we've known each other for 7 years.
Oh, great.
And sort of as each year's passed, we've gotten to know each other more. So, but now it's we're like that, because once you do a project like this, you have to stick together. The sort of morale was that we were a team, and I think that comes out in the chemistry, that we had each other's backs. We could totally trust each other. To commit to this insane imaginative world, to commit to this really sort of intense dialogue or intense emotional sort of situation.
And how did you deal with, I mean, like you said, I mean, they have to create an entire world and there's so much CGI and special effects. Is that a challenge for you as an actor, or does it give you a certain amount of freedom going, I can go a bit crazy and they can work the effects around me?
That's interesting. I have a lot of theater background, and there's that idea of the fourth wall, which is what is between you and the audience, which you have to keep lifted up in your mind. And that sort of through line of thoughts is what helped me with Willem on stilts and Samantha with this backpack and, Woola as a puppet. And again, like, what am I wearing? So I have to thank my theater background for helping me do that.
And what was it like working with Andrew Staunton? Because, I mean, this is his first live action film. What was he like as a director?
Well, the first thing I will say about Andrew and his process is that he never loses it, ever. And
that sounds like you've had that a lot in your career.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in showbiz there's a lot of behavior that's accepted, and not to judge it. It's just that's how it goes. And to see someone who is not on best behavior, that's not the right term, but who is self-composed and also in the flow artistically is such an example. I would hate to use the word mentor because why would I hate that? Maybe I should just say it. I think he's, a great mentor of mine. And
drag that out of you. Exclusive. He's a mentor.
Yeah, he really was so sensitive to each actor and had a different dialogue and vocabulary with each actor.
Yeah.
Which I find that means that he's probably a great actor himself. There was something that he understood about my process, and I watched him understand others' process. It's like, let's get you in front of the camera.
And all going well with this film, and I'm sure it will. We're going to be seeing you in 2 others, possibly. You're all signed up. I mean, is that a bit daunting, that kind of commitment to a franchise? And also, I'm sure it's going to be a lifestyle change. I mean, this film is probably going to be absolutely huge. It's going to boost your profile incredibly. Is that a bit scary?
Sometimes it's like a bittersweet aspect, because I really enjoy being a chameleon and sort of almost like mask work. That was my favorite thing in Juilliard, was working with masks. And there's an exposure that happens when you do a movie of this size that at first I was sad about, actually, because it's like, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to morph and drift like I used to. But there's acceptance to the exposure that will lead to other opportunities that, are going to challenge me in different ways.
Yeah. And we can't wait to see them. This film is absolutely incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, you too.